You replace all your daily drinking water with salty ocean water. The goal is to survive for 1 full year. It sounds simple. Water is water, but the ocean is not just water. It is a concentrated brine. Your kidneys have a problem. The first glass feels fine, then the thirst arrives. It is an aggressive, clawing thirst. Every sip of seawater adds more salt to the blood. The brain signals for more water to dilute the brine. You drink more ocean water. The cycle accelerates. Thirst becomes the only thing you feel. The mouth turns into a desert. The tongue swells. The thirst is now a physical weight in the chest. Osmosis takes over. Biology prefers balance. Because the blood is now saltier than the cells, water is ripped out of the tissues. Cells shrink like drying raisins. This happens everywhere. The skin shrivel, the muscles tighten, the eyes sink into the skull. The body is technically full of liquid, but the cells are dying of thirst. This is biological irony. The saltwater acts as a sponge, sucking the remaining hydration from the organs to balance the salinity. The blood thickens. Flow slows down. The heart struggles to push this salty sludge through the veins. Every heartbeat is an effort. The internal environment becomes a brine pool. Dehydration is now systemic and absolute. You are only on day 3. The 1-year goal seems optimistic now. A glass of fresh water would solve everything, but the rules are strict. Only ocean water. The stomach begins to reject the brine. Nausea sets in. The salt is winning. Hypernatremia strikes the brain. Sodium levels in the cerebrospinal fluid spike. Brain cells shrink away from the skull. This creates small hemorrhages. The result is profound confusion. Memory fades, logic disappears. You forget why you are drinking salt water. You forget your own name. Hallucinations begin. The room starts to ripple like the tide. You see fish swimming through the air. The brain is effectively pickling itself in a salty broth. Seizures trigger as electrical signals misfire across the shrunken neurons. The body enters a state of delirium. You are no longer a person. You are a confused, salty organism. The drive to drink continues, but the coordination to hold a glass vanishes. The body collapses. The thirst remains, but the mind is gone. The biological machinery is grinding to a halt. The brine has claimed the command center. The kidneys are the last line of defense. Their job is to filter salt. Human kidneys can only produce urine that is slightly less salty than the ocean. To get rid of the salt from 1 liter of seawater, the body must spend more than 1 liter of its own internal water. This is a mathematical death sentence. The kidneys work overtime. They pump frantically, but they are fighting a losing battle. Every attempt to detoxify the blood actually accelerates the dehydration. The renal tubules clog. The filtration system fails. Acute kidney injury turns into total renal failure. Toxins build up in the blood. Urea and creatinine levels skyrocket. The blood becomes a toxic slurry of salt and waste. The liver starts to shut down. The heart rhythm becomes erratic. The blood is now too thick to oxygenate the tissues. The organs are not just failing, they are being chemically preserved. The body is becoming a human salt cure. The process is clinical. The result is inevitable. The math simply does not allow for survival. Total systemic collapse arrives. The skin becomes a parchment of salt crystals. Pores leak brine that evaporates instantly, leaving white crusts across the limbs. The muscles atrophy into dry strips. The eyes have completely retracted. The tongue is a hard, salty stone. Internal organs have shrunk to a fraction of their size. The body is now a biological mummy. This is a state of extreme desiccation. The cells have completely surrendered their water to the blood, which has then been leaked or evaporated. Even the bacteria in the gut die off. The salt concentration is too high for most life. The body is now essentially a statue made of carbon and sodium chloride. This happens long before the 1-year mark. The time frame is now measured in days, not months. The environment takes over. Dust settles on the salt crust. The body doesn't even rot because the salt prevents decomposition. It is a permanent, crystalline monument to a bad decision. The physical form is frozen in a permanent state of thirst. The skeletal structure remains encased in a layer of mineral deposits. The process is complete. The biological experiment has reached its logical, salty conclusion. The 1-year mark finally arrives. The subject has been dead for 11 months and 20 days. What remains is a humanoid salt sculpture. It is surprisingly durable. It resists wind and rain for a short time. The chemical composition is mostly salt and dried protein. It is a stark reminder that biology has limits. The salt has effectively preserved the evidence of the failure. The goal was to drink ocean water for a year. Technically, the body stayed in the ocean water environment. The coroner finishes the report. The cause of death is listed as extreme sodium toxicity. However, the insurance company denies the life insurance claim. The policy specifically excludes death by voluntary salt ingestion. The estate is now responsible for the cleanup costs of the salt statue. That is why we use filters. Do not drink the ocean. It is a bad idea. Subscribe to the What If Club for more ways to accidentally mummify yourself.